In my work with new parents, especially new moms, I've discovered this interesting love-hate relationship with all the baby play activities that we find online. On the one hand, you get inspired and excited, and you might pin them to your Pinterest board or tag a friend on Instagram and say, let's do this with our babies. But then there's this other side of it that I've observed where parents start to wonder, like, am I doing enough? I'm not doing those things. And they wonder, what is something like sensory play? They see that word and they think, I don't even really know what that is, so clearly I'm not doing enough. And how much should I be doing so that I don't mess my kid up for life? Y'all, I get it. I have a mom brain too. I know how it can spin, and I know how it can try to convince you that you're not doing enough and that you're not good enough. Let's breathe. Today in this video, I want to break down for you exactly what sensory play is and show you how simple and totally doable it is with your baby. We are not going to overthink it, overcomplicate it, overanalyze it. We're not going to over anything it. We're just going to share some activities that we can do together to get us all excited and inspired. But then at the end, I'm going to share with you my sensory play OT tip that's going to make you feel like an awesome parent today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Rachel Coley. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist, mama to 3 littles, and a total child development nerd. Here on my channel, I share a video each week to help you worry less, play more, and give your kiddo the best start possible. A lot of what we see online that's called sensory play is messy. Playing with gooey things, playing with Play-Doh, playing in rice and bean bins. And while this is a really great way to stimulate the tactile system, the touch system of the body, it is messy and it's not always a good fit for a baby who's going to put everything in their mouth. So let's kind of expand our view of what sensory play is. Simply put, sensory play is enjoyable exploration through the senses. And since the only way to explore is through the senses, we can make it even simpler and just say it's enjoyable exploration. So that's not overwhelming, right? You're just gonna expose your baby to something new and let them explore it. Easy breezy. Often sensory play will highlight or prioritize one particular sense. But the truth is that senses don't work in isolation. They work together. So even though we might call something a smelling activity or a movement activity or a tactile or touch activity, really you should know that multiple sensory systems are always involved and that you're helping your baby's sensory system start to talk together and work together during play. So if you're scratching your head right about now trying to remember those senses that you learned in first grade, I'm going to give you a quick refresher and I'm going to throw in 2 additional senses that you probably didn't learn about but that are really important to remember for sensory play. Your baby touches with her skin, sees with her eyes, hears with her ears, tastes with her tongue, smells with her nose, and then she feels position changes and movement with her inner ears. She feels pressure and stretch with her muscles and joints. So those are the 7 senses that we're really going to think about when we talk about sensory play. And we also want to keep in mind that sensory play is a little bit different than a passive sensory experience. So, for example, rocking your baby or giving your baby a baby massage, those are really great and beneficial activities for your kiddo. But to make it really play, we want your baby actively involved. So we want baby to be actively exploring through those senses. So let's take a look at some simple examples of sensory play with your baby that you can implement starting today. A great way to play with your newborn's vision is to encourage visually tracking a slowly moving object like a mobile, a picture, a face, or a toy. You can clip a Mylar balloon to baby's sock to watch as they wiggle and make it move. I love this one for that stage. Once they're not a newborn anymore and they're starting to kick and wiggle more purposefully, but they're not yet old enough to roll over and grab the balloon string. You can put all sorts of objects in clear plastic containers for baby to visually explore without mouthing or eating. For older babies, play with flashlights or light up objects in the dark can be a great way to engage the visual sense. Next, we can engage baby's auditory sense or that sense of hearing by pairing movement with sound through wrist or foot rattles or simple play with instruments.
Tia, what is that thing? Oh, boom, you made it go boom. Yes, you did. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, you got it back.
Even if you're not into messy play today, you can still engage your baby in tactile or touch play. So for indoor play, you could fill a basket or a bin with baby-safe seasonal items. or with household items that you collect that have different textures. So maybe a silky scarf, a scratchy hairbrush, a soft baby toy, a hard measuring cup. I also love to play with hot and cold, or warm and cool, with babies. And this is easy to do with water bottles that you fill with different temperatures, or with Ziploc bags that you fill with ice or with warm water. And with newborns, I love to take a washcloth and dip it in different bowls of water and rub on the baby's hands and feet and cheeks so that they can start to feel the difference between a cool washcloth and a warm washcloth. To engage baby's position and movement senses, those are the two that I added, the vestibular and proprioceptive senses that you probably didn't learn in first grade. I love to do facilitated rolling games. So with newborns, one really slow roll is probably plenty for their systems. But older babies often love several rolls in a row. Another way to play with these senses is flying tummy time. Again, this one looks much different for newborns versus bigger babies with full head control. All right, and now it's time for my secret OT tip. Friends, life is sensory. So it's fine if you want to make cutesy themed sensory bins, or if you want to spend a lot of time and energy doing a sensory busy board for your baby. If that makes you happy, if that's your thing, do it. By all means, do it. But do not for 1 second think that you are less than if that's not your thing, or if you don't have time or energy or money for those things. If you're letting your baby feel sand or mulch or grass under their feet, if you're letting your baby have a chance to splash in the bathtub, if you're letting your older baby crawl around on the floor and explore the Tupperware drawer and the shoe box, if you are letting your kiddo get messy at some of their meals, you're doing enough. You're doing great sensory play. All the other stuff is optional. You're doing great with this whole overcomplicated but oh so simple sensory play thing. If you love understanding your baby better and learning how to support baby's best start, be sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking the red button below. And then click the video on your screen right now to learn exactly how babies learn and master their milestones and why play is the perfect way to support that. See you in the next video.